This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Culturally grounded and community-led. It's two cornerstones of a new clinic open in the west end of the city. It will serve as a hub for people from 4 First Nation communities where mental health and addictions concerns are front and center and offer accessible treatment to those who face barriers trying to get help. And as CBC's Mike Arsenault explains, it's already open.
A new path forward for people struggling with mental health and addiction. The Manitoba Anisinu Mobile Addiction Network, or MAMAN, has officially launched. Program manager Kirsty Muller says their goal is to make sure northern communities receive the care and support they need.
Prescriptions for OAT, referrals for treatment, harm reduction services, mental health supports, referrals and direction to land-based treatment.
The MAMAN Clinic works similar to Winnipeg's Rapid Access to Addictions Medicine Clinics, or RAM clinics, providing low-barrier health care for people living with mental health and addictions. MAMAN serves people from Garden Hill, Red Sucker Lake, St. Teresa Point, and Wasagamak. Muller says the clinic is using a hub-and-spoke model.
We have our clinic here that's kind of our main point in the city. So I can see patients here, I can see rural patients, I can see patients that fly down and see me, and then we also go out to communities.
4 Arrows Regional Health Authority oversees all health issues related to the Island Lake region. O'Baron Monroe says the clinic is a positive step forward for his community.
Where we are, it's pretty well isolated, and we all have to access services in the urban centers. So these services bring those services into the communities.
Shared Health has been supporting 4 Arrows in establishing the clinic.
First Nation-led initiatives and services such as this are really important in our way forward to provide ongoing substance use and addiction services in Manitoba.
Muller hopes to see the program expand in the future.
My grand dream is that eventually all of Manitoba and all of our northern communities would benefit from the same type of hub-and-spoke model.
Muller says the clinic has been to Garden Hill twice in the last month, and there's already a waiting list. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba's NDP government reaffirmed its climate targets today. They include trying to wean Manitoba Hydro off fossil fuels in 10 years and making the province carbon neutral by 2050. CBC's Bartley Kivas joins us live in the newsroom to talk about what the government calls Manitoba's path to zero. So, Bartley, what's the plan?
Well, it's a set of guiding principles for future, more specific climate change plans. Principles like consulting with Indigenous nations and working with private industry. But there are challenges in the way of any effort to reduce emissions. Now, the biggest is the growing demand for electricity. Manitoba Hydro is mostly green right now, but plans to build new fuel-burning turbines to produce more power. The Environment Minister suggests gas turbines in the short term are not a problem.
Manitoba Hydro has a commitment to ensure that we have the lights turned on and that Manitobans' homes can be heated. But they also have a deep commitment to the path to net zero.
So, Bartley, what was the reaction to today's plan?
I spoke to Laura Cameron from Manitoba's Climate Action Team. She said she was looking for more specific details, namely hard targets for emission reductions by 2030 and for 2035.
This strategy does seem like it was pulled together, like it was written quite quickly, and it's great to see that sort of urgency coming from the government, and we now want to see the action plan.
The opposition environment critic, meanwhile, wondered why the NDP took so long. The NDP was elected in October 2023.
This NDP government is 2 years in, and this is the first time we've heard serious talk about the environment. So I would think that perhaps the Premier and his colleagues are pandering to the environmental people.
Okay, so moving to the Legislative Building, are the NDP and the PCs any closer to debating whether to issue fines over the CO Silica affair?
Yes, but not because of either party. The clock is simply ticking down. Tuesday is a deadline for this legislature to decide whether former Premier Heather Stephenson, former Cabinet Minister Cliff Cullen, and sitting Red River North MLA Jeff Warden should be fined thousands of dollars for their roles in trying to get the CO Silica sand mining license approved 2 years ago. That was after the PCs lost the election, but before the NDP took power. Now, the PCs and NDP have spent the past week trading accusations about why that debate has not yet happened. Ultimately, the blame doesn't matter. The debate should happen on Tuesday. Britt?
All right, that's CBC's Bartley Kivas. The chair of Winnipeg's police board is stepping down. City Councillor Marcus Chambers has resigned from his role effective immediately. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
City Councillor Marcus Chambers is resigning from the police board. He says it was the right time to step aside as its chair.
The board is now in the full throes of working on the strategic plan to 2030, and with Chief Bowers hired and ready to take on the service and lead it in transformational change, I felt it was time for different leadership.
Chambers was first appointed as a member of the board in 2018, then became vice chair before serving as chair for the last 5 years. He chaired the board as the city went through the process of hiring a new police chief. He worked through the pandemic, and as the community grappled with its relationship with police after the murder of George Floyd in 2020 in Minnesota.
Seeing people that look like me being murdered at the hands of police, and then taking over here as chair of the police board, of course, a full range of emotions.
Mayor Scott Gillingham says in a statement Chambers showed steady leadership during his time as board chair. He also says his work has helped position the Winnipeg Police Service to collaborate more closely with the community and other partners to keep Winnipeg safe. Chambers' resignation is effective immediately, but he is going to stay on as a city councillor. Current Vice Chair Colleen Mayer is going to take over for Chambers until a new chair is nominated. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The Premier is reacting to a Manitoba First Nations chief calling for an end to its current child welfare system after calling it a failure. Peguis First Nation took control of its community's child and family services in 2023. It inked a deal with the province and feds under legislation to return care to communities. At the time, it was called historic. But now, Peguis's current chief, Stanley Bird, wants the deal to be terminated. Bird says he fears kids are at risk. Wab Canoe says when someone like Chief Bird speaks, they should listen.
Our commitment as a government is to return parenting to Indigenous communities. It's to return the sacred bond that was broken in the residential school era in too many families to those families' descendants. And if C92 is not working for Peguis, let's have that conversation and figure out what will.
Canoe says the chief and the families minister are meeting today. Indigenous Services Canada says Peguis CFS is given funding and its governing bodies are responsible to ensure effective delivery of services. A Winnipeg MP says Jewish people in Canada should not be blamed for the situation in Gaza. Hundreds gathered at the Asper Jewish Community Campus to take part in the March for Israel. It comes ahead of the 2-year anniversary of the deadly attack on October 7th by Hamas. Winnipeg MP Ben Carr was at the walk. Carr, who is Jewish, says he's been the target of anti-Semitic rhetoric in recent months. He calls it unacceptable and drew a comparison to the Muslim community being wrongly attacked after 9/11.
It was wrong and racist and inappropriate for the Muslim community to be held accountable for the actions of a very select few, and it is wrong for us to hold Jewish Canadians accountable for the way that somebody might feel about the situation occurring in Gaza.
He added he's been hearing from many Jewish Winnipeggers that are feeling more on edge about their own safety. 2 inmates at Stony Mountain Institution have been charged with murder in the death of a 3rd inmate. RCMP were called to the federal prison Wednesday night after an inmate had been stabbed. Police say 27-year-old Kyle Harper of Wasagamak died on scene. A 26-year-old and a 22-year-old are charged with 2nd-degree murder. All right, well, Riley will be back in tomorrow, but it was definitely a cooler, windier day than what we saw for at least the first half of the weekend. Let's check in with Ethan Williams for a check on our forecast.
Well, Brittany, we'll start with a look back at a very rainy weekend that we had in the province. A couple of corridors of some heavy rain from around Cartwright up through Portage and then on into the Inner Lake. 40 to 50 millimeters in some places there. And then a similar corridor stretching from around the U.S. border up through Winnipeg and then on into northwestern Ontario, bringing 30 to 40 millimeters. Sprague, you'll notice here, the outlier, 60 millimeters of rain there. That was from some heavy thunderstorms on Saturday that also produced some ping pong ball sized hail there. But that system has now moved out. But in its wake, some pretty chilly temperatures. In Winnipeg, we may actually drop below the freezing mark overnight, leaving us at just 1 degree above freezing by 8 a.m. tomorrow. Although the skies will be nicely clearing out with a nice sunny day. Temperatures, though, not warming up all that much. And in fact, we might not even crack 10 degrees for a high tomorrow. So definitely, Brittany, on the chillier side of things. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
A big change. Thank you, Ethan. How promised immigration changes could impact already struggling rural businesses. We'll have more on that after the break. Stay with us. Staffing shortages continue to plague companies across Canada, with skilled workers hard to come by. But in rural Manitoba, businesses are concerned they could take another labor hit. Promised changes to the temporary foreign workers program has some companies worried it will leave them even more short-staffed in an already tight market. CBC's Chelsea Kemp has that story.
Keeping farm equipment running at Mazer Group's shop in Brandon, this is one of their busiest seasons. Courtney Matienzo says their dealerships partially rely on temporary foreign workers. She fears changes to Canadian immigration policies will make it harder to find heavy-duty technicians.
It does make us worried, specifically because it's not that we rely fully on the program, but definitely to fill any of our gaps in our rural locations.
Last month, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced plans to reduce the total number of temporary foreign workers by the end of 2027.
Canadians are a generous people, welcoming people to our country. We have to make sure we have the capacity to fulfill that welcome.
Employment and Social Development Canada told CBC temporary foreign worker program policies are reviewed and adjusted regularly. And the program is meant to fill temporary labor and skill shortages, not replace long-term workforce strategies. Brandon's Chamber of Commerce says businesses are watching for developments closely because immigration programs help fill critical roles.
My company, Super Thrifty Drugs, has been posting the same positions in rural Manitoba at our locations, probably going on a couple of years now. There just aren't enough pharmacists in Manitoba to fill the positions.
The city of Brandon says they're confident the federal government is listening.
From our engagement with our federal and provincial partners, we've seen that they are valuing rural voices. In the programs that we administer, we get to decide who come to us.
Matt Tienzo says they need to know what the future looks like to ensure they have the people they need on the floor.
Being guaranteed that our position, specifically the heavy-duty or ag service technicians, wouldn't be an issue for the program.
For now, Matt Tienzo plans to keep building the company's international relationships to help get jobs filled. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Brandon.
Football fans from across the country will descend on Winnipeg next month for the 112th Grey Cup. Well, the big game will be played in Manitoba's capital city. The Grey Cup Festival organizers are making sure its impact is being felt in every corner of the province, while also leaving a lasting legacy in schools. CBC's Zubina Ahmed reports.
We got the special announcement.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers announced plans to get Canadians excited about the upcoming 112th Grey Cup. In partnership with Football Manitoba, it will launch a province-wide flag football initiative. Wade Miller, president and CEO of Winnipeg Blue Bombers, says this will provide over 7,000 footballs and flags to 900 schools in Manitoba.
Flag football is becoming an Olympic sport. And it's an inclusive sport. People can have success immediately with it. It's for anybody, and it's just such a fast-paced sport. And we're so excited to be able to make sure that every school will have the opportunity to have these flag football kits throughout the entire province.
Miller says anyone at any age can participate, from the city to rural communities. He says this will help grow the popularity of the game.
Well, this is one where you're giving something to kids and getting kids moving, getting them active in the schools, and making sure that's a lifelong sport. It's not tackle football, it's flag football. So it's a sport you can play for your entire life.
The Grey Cup is also going on a Travel Manitoba Northern Tour in October. This will take the Grey Cup itself and a crew to Flin Flon, Thompson and Churchill. Colin Ferguson from Travel Manitoba hopes this will help bring some joy to communities after a difficult summer.
Flin Flon was one of the many communities that was virtually devastated during this summer's challenging wildfire season. Thompson also faced unique challenges and the threat of evacuation while at the same time caring for evacuees. And the truth is the impacts on from these fires were felt across the entire north.
The football club also plans to have all its communications in both French and English. Zubina Ahmed, CBC News, Winnipeg.
In just a few days, Winnipeg Jets fans will once again pack downtown ahead of the team's home opener. The season gets underway with a redo of the Stanley Cup Round 2 rivalry. The Jets looking for redemption against the Dallas Stars on Thursday. True North says all fans in attendance will be going home with a toque as well. The night will include a pregame banner unveiling for the team's President's Trophy and Central Division Championship achievements. Doors will open at 5:30 p.m. And on Saturday, the team will take on the LA Kings in an afternoon showdown. It was a special day at the Granite Curling Club as the Keystone Rainbow League opened its 20th season yesterday. Keystone Rainbow is a 2S LGBTQ+ curling league in Manitoba. Its founder says it feels surreal the league has lasted for 2 decades.
At a time across Canada where a lot of curling clubs are struggling and a lot of leagues are finding it hard to maintain memberships, to see this league growing by leaps and bounds and so much every year, I think that's just a huge success story.
Harris says this year 45 teams and more than 100 players are in the league. He also says he takes pride in knowing they've created a safe space for members of the province's 2S LGBTQ community. All right, well, after that rainy Sunday, is there more rain in the forecast? Let's check in with Ethan Williams.
Well, Brittany, in addition to that heavy rain that we got over the weekend, some pretty strong wind as well at times. Many locations in southern Manitoba actually registering above 80-kilometer-an-hour gusts. Winnipeg, the best we got was around a 70-kilometer-an-hour gust on Sunday. Now, things a lot lighter in terms of the winds as we've gone into Monday, but still some breezes kind of here and there, especially out in western sections of the province. We actually had some gusts near 60 in Dauphin and in the Riding Mountain area. That, as well as some moisture, has been moving through southern parts of Manitoba as we've gone through the day. Some showers in southern sections. The radar even picking up maybe a little bit of some snow flurries along the Riding Mountain and through the Parkland region, that continuing to sort of move its way eastward as we've gone through the day. The wind and the rain and that little bit of snow, the result of this low pressure system, which has also been bringing some snow at times through northern Manitoba. That is going to begin to move out, though, as we head through the overnight hours. Maybe a few stray showers in eastern sections as we go overnight, but high pressure starts to move back in for early Tuesday, and that'll be a dominant feature over these next 3 days, meaning our weather is pretty uneventful, pretty sunny for Winnipeg and really much of the province, save for this low pressure system, which is going to start to move in as we get into early Thursday, bring some cloud cover and maybe a few showers to the far north of the province, but no real significant precipitation looking to be coming there. We will see winds continue to stay breezy at times, I think overnight before things die down. Could see some gusts in the range of 50 kilometers an hour in the Red River Valley. The next day that we'll look for winds to pick up a little bit is probably as we get into Wednesday, 50 to 60 possible in the Winnipeg area. But that is no problem for dogs like Luna, because she knows to bring in the paper before it blows away in those strong winds. I might suggest you grab a jacket if you are walking the dog on Tuesday in Winnipeg. It's going to be a chilly one. Again, our temperatures will barely get above 10 degrees, although we will see some sunshine. The cool down, though, not lasting all that long, because as you can see, as we get into middle of the week, we're back above seasonal for our daytime highs, nearing 20 degrees already by Thursday. Look at these overnight lows going from near freezing to back to double-digit territory by Wednesday. The only thing we're going to have to watch for, Brittany, is a little bit of some wind, of course, over the next few days, but otherwise, we're rebounding nicely after all this rain, wind, and cool weather as well.
All right, thank you, Ethan. There is much more to come after the break. Stay with us. It's been 2 years since the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel. About 1,200 people were killed and 250 others kidnapped by militants. Kibbutz Be'eri near the Gaza border suffered the biggest loss of any single village that day. Paul Hunter paid a visit to the community to speak with survivors.
At Kibbutz Be'eri, not far from the Gaza Strip, 2 years after the October 7th attacks, it remains a testament to the violence, horror, misery, and death on that day. With Israel's war on Hamas in Gaza ever since, it's a reminder to the world how the war began. International media invited into what's left of the kibbutz, the scars still in plain sight, effectively untouched.
This kind of scene, bullet holes, everything is burnt, places were set afire, obviously. It's house after house after house after house.
When the terrorists came inside our house, tried to bomb our door, I was in my house with my husband and my 3 kids. Just be careful.
Mirigad Masika's family survived that day, but more than 100 of those who lived in the kibbutz were killed. 1 in 10 residents, more than 30 others kidnapped, grabbed from their homes, pushed into cars and taken to Gaza.
When they didn't have enough room in the car, they just executed them.
When alarms rang out that morning, families ran into barricaded safe rooms. In some, Hamas attackers forced their way in regardless, using rocket grenades, assault rifles, and hammers.
I was sitting on the bed, and my wife, she was sitting on the floor with a blanket on her.
And what are you thinking at that moment?
That now it's my time to die.
Ohad Ben Ami and his wife were both kidnapped that day. His wife released after 54 days. He was held for 491 days. Released, finally, just this past February. He showed us what's left of his place and told us his thoughts are always with those still being held, those whose fates now rest with the proposed U.S. peace deal.
And I hope that all the 48 hostages will come back to their families. And our nation and their people will get the chance to recover.
For the hostages, he says, for Israel, and for all those in Gaza not part of the attacks, now caught in the suffering, this war must end. Paul Hunter, CBC News at Kibbutz Be'eri.
Officials from Israel and Hamas are holding indirect talks in Egypt on Donald Trump's proposed peace plan for Gaza. The White House says it's working hard to advance it as quickly as possible. Sasha Petrusik has the latest from Jerusalem.
Talks have started in the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. Mediators and negotiators have arrived. We have heard that Israel is not going to be sending its top negotiator for a few days, depending on what happens now. And the U.S., which is participating and pushing really hard for a successful deal, well, it's not going to be sending its top diplomats for another couple of days, depending again on what happens. Now, at the moment, they seem to be starting with some technical issues around how the hostages will be released. There are 20 living hostages, as far as we know, and 28 bodies that have to be returned. Hamas has agreed in principle to this, but there's a lot of questions about when that will happen. But Donald Trump is pushing hard.
We had some very good meetings. The countries of the world, a lot of the countries surrounding Israel, frankly, Muslim, Arab, and many others have had great meetings with Hamas, and it looks like it's working.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said it could take a week or so to figure out whether this process will actually succeed, but that there is some urgency because all sides are motivated. Now, here in Israel, people are also watching this quite closely. They feel this is the moment.
I really hope that all the leaders will make a push and that this war will end.
I'm uncertain about our future. I'm cautiously optimistic.
In the meantime, fighting is continuing in Gaza. Both the United States and Israel say that Israeli forces have calmed things down to some extent, that they are not pushing as hard. There aren't as many airstrikes, for instance, but Palestinians say they're not seeing much difference and that they're still waiting for some kind of ceasefire. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is flying to Washington for a meeting with Trump. The U.S. president's policies and tariffs have been causing economic uncertainty and job losses across Canada. Many provincial leaders are hoping this visit will help ease some of those trade tensions. The CBC's Evan Dyer reports.
Surely after promising to negotiate a win, to have a deal by July the 21st, the Prime Minister's not flying all the way to Washington, D.C. just to have lunch.
The opposition raised the pressure on Carney to bring solid results back from Washington, with Pierre Poilievre delivering a letter demanding no more losing. But Conservative premiers weren't joining the chorus.
And I will say that recently I have had some hope that we are seeing a change in direction since Mark Carney became Prime Minister.
Alberta's premier sounded downright complimentary about Carney's infrastructure proposals.
4 of the projects on his list are resource development projects, and I'm hopeful that that is a clear sign that he is headed in the right direction. Actually, I'm more than hopeful.
And from Ontario.
I don't want the Prime Minister in there getting bullied and telling them you're doing this, you're doing that. It's not going to work. It will never, ever work. And I'm confident that the Prime Minister is going to go in there and do a great job. He's a smart business person.
There is guarded optimism that there might be some kind of breakthrough in Washington, even if only a small one.
When the president wants something, he wants something to go out with a big splash. So I don't think that the Prime Minister would be going unless there was something to announce.
We are friends, we're allies.
Canada got some support from a delegation of governors from Great Lakes states, all of which are closely tied to the Canadian economy.
What is not helpful is the bullying. What is not helpful is failing to remember our shared history and the way we are intertwined. What is not helpful is the way in which the president has demeaned our neighbors in the north, suggesting that they should be the 51st state. I respect Canadian sovereignty, and I hope that tomorrow when this meeting occurs in the White House, respect will rule the day.
The Liberal government has tried not to raise expectations for this trip, but Oval Office meetings are rare, and there's little doubt Mark Carney would like to emerge with some relief for Canada's struggling industries, even if it falls far short of the grand bargain his government is ultimately hoping for. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Trump has announced new 25% tariffs on all heavy-duty and medium truck imports starting next month. The U.S. president says it's to protect American truck makers from foreign competition. Mexico is the biggest exporter of both of those types of vehicles to the U.S. Under CUSMA, the trucks move tariff-free if 64% of its value originates in North America. At least 200 people are still stranded by a blizzard near the eastern face of Mount Everest. About 350 people have been guided to safety, while contact with the remaining trekkers has been made, according to Chinese state media. Crowds of tourists had traveled to the mountain for Golden Week, an 8-day holiday in China. But heavy snowfall hit the area, stranding hundreds. Photos and videos show tents buried and lines of people waist-high trying to trek down the mountain. Tilly Norwood is not real, but Hollywood is taking her very seriously. The AI-generated actor looks and sounds human, and as Magda Gebrselassie explains, it's sparking backlash for blurring the line between real and artificial talent.
3 seasons and a podcast.
Bragging about getting gigs and battling a villain. Meet the latest creation from the world of artificial intelligence.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
The European company Particle 6 is presenting her as an actress. The CEO says she's been meeting with entertainment companies, and Norwood could be represented by a talent agency in the next few months. Real-life actors are outraged. Here's what Emily Blunt told a Variety podcast.
Good Lord, we're screwed.
That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that.
The AI has an unfair advantage, says Whoopi Goldberg.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Because you can always tell them from us.
Taking up the fight, too, is SAG-AFTRA, the union representing actors in the U.S. It released a statement saying creativity is and should remain human-centered, and that this is jeopardizing performer livelihoods. ACTRA, the union in Canada, is pushing back on Norwood, too.
It is 100% not an actor. It's an amalgamation of probably hundreds, if not thousands, of professional actors, performers, who have not been compensated at all for this.
The unions have already fought and won some AI protections for actors, including consent and compensation for reproductions of their likeness. As for synthetic performers like Norwood, studios would have to negotiate with the unions. Either way, AI isn't going away. This actor and AI filmmaker in Toronto thinks content with performers like Norwood should have their own genre.
Who knows, maybe down the depths of look, if you're scrolling next time on Netflix, there's like action, there's drama, there's horror, and then there might be a completely new category like AI.
Meanwhile, Particle 6's CEO has responded to the backlash. In a statement, she said Norwood is not a replacement for a human, and that AI is another way to build stories. Magda Gebre-Selassie, CBC News, Toronto.
In the midst of a mental health crisis, the struggle too many children are facing, and why some experts say not enough is being done to help. We'll have more on that ahead. This is Manitoba. And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Manitoba, streaming now. World Mental Health Day is October 10th. In any given year, 1 in 5 Canadians experiences a mental illness. Our country is in the midst of a mental health crisis, and too often it's youth who are falling through the cracks. But there are initiatives happening here and across the province hoping to change that. Dr. Joanne Unger is a clinical psychologist and specialty lead of the Child and Adolescent Service for Clinical Health Psychology at Children's Hospital and joins me now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Unger, it is such an important thing to be talking about mental health. How prevalent are mental health problems with our youth these days in Manitoba?
Yeah, I was listening to you hear about that 1 in 5 number, and I think since COVID, it's getting closer to 1 in 4. So we are really seeing a shift in terms of the needs for mental health across the age range, and that is certainly no different with children and youth. We have seen, an increase during COVID, and some of that has settled to some extent, but the rates still remain quite high, and the needs for services remain considerable.
But what are some of the driving factors that you're seeing as to maybe why we're seeing an increase in mental health problems with youth? What issues do you see kids coming to you with?
I think some of the changes that some of the youth experienced, depending on their age through COVID, really created a number of shifts for them in terms of social connection, in building those social skills, in having that in-person time that we know is really helpful for mental health. We've become, as a society, I think, pretty dependent on our screens and are connecting with others in that way. And I think we're not really understanding the impact that that is having on folks. So certainly there's some research to show that certain types or excessive social media and screen use can have a negative impact on mental health. It's not all screen use, but certainly when we use it too much or in certain ways, it can have really negative impacts on mental health. That connection to other people and recognizing those connections over time and rebuilding those, and the importance of that in-person time is really one of the drivers, one of the things that we really need as other people. And I think another piece is around supporting parents. So one of the things I often say is one of the best ways to help kids and families is to help parents. And so, if they're seeing higher rates of mental health in adults, that's going to trickle down and have impacts on parenting and their ability to, take that time and be present and support their children.
When we talk about mental health, addictions, a number of different issues, we talk about early intervention and really the importance of that. When we're talking specifically about mental health and youth, why is it even more important?
Well, we know that for a vast majority of adults who experience a mental health condition or problem as an adult, they'll report that it started in childhood and adolescence. And so it is really vital way to help all of us is to start supporting children and youth and their families as early on as possible. When we do that, we're able to be more effective in how we can engage with families, because if things aren't as severe, we can be more effective with our treatments. And if we can catch things early, we can sometimes change trajectories for some families so that they can have effective treatment and may not experience those same kind of mental health challenges in adulthood.
Dr. Unger, where are we seeing the greatest need? Do we have enough resources to be supporting our kids when they need it?
Yeah, we didn't have enough resources before COVID, and that really hasn't changed. And so the needs continue to increase. And I know, there's pockets of efforts being made to really increase the supports and the needs that we have. But what we're seeing is a chronic underfunding of mental health. So really we stay at about 5 to 6% of our health budget is being spent on mental health, and research shows that needs to be closer to 10. And so if we don't have the funding to support the programming to help families, then we can't we're always playing catch up. One of the reports that was done in Manitoba quite a while ago now, but still remains quite relevant, is a Virgo report, which was done on the mental health system of Manitoba. And it showed and it indicated that chronic underfunding is really what is one of the main drivers of some of our difficulties and some of our highest rates of mental health challenges in the country.
Dr. Unger, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, we got through the cold and the wind and the rain this weekend, so what's in store for the week? Let's check in with Ethan Williams.
Well, Brittany, we went from talking about way above seasonal temperatures, near 30 degrees in some places less than 2 weeks ago, to today, where we barely got above seasonal and barely above 10 degrees in some parts of especially southern Manitoba. A lot of 11s on the board. That's the best we managed in Winnipeg, and many southern locations didn't even hit double digits a little bit further north in the province. Part of this is because of our upper level pattern. The jet stream dipping down now actually below Manitoba for the first time in a little while now, dragging down some cooler air along with it. We're not alone. Much of the prairie provinces have been dealing with this, in parts of Ontario as well, while eastern Canada, meanwhile, basks in some October warmth. We're seeing 30-degree temperatures in parts of the Maritimes today. But this pattern for us, not going to stick around very long. Another ridge starts to develop over Alberta and Saskatchewan as we get into Wednesday. I think by Thursday, we will start to benefit from that, or perhaps even Wednesday in western sections of the province. Before we get to Thursday, this pattern starts to break down a little bit as we get into Friday and Saturday, but overall, the trend of above seasonal temperatures likely continuing. But in the meantime, we have to get through a bit of a chilly night before we get to some of those warmer temperatures. Just how chilly? Well, I think for a lot of us through southern Manitoba, this will be the first night this fall where we drop below the freezing mark. We have the possibility of that in the Winnipeg area. This forecast calling for right around the freezing mark. As you go out further west, you'll notice those temperatures much cooler. We could see some -5s, -7s even on the board. Widespread cloud cover for the start of the evening with the possibility of some showers, but things will clear overnight as high pressure starts to move in. And that high pressure already beginning to move through the north, where many locations will see clearing skies overnight. Temperatures generally between freezing and -5. That'll leave us with a mostly sunny start to the day for Tuesday. Again, right around freezing as we start things, but we'll jump up nicely into those mid-single digits for much of the north as we get into the afternoon, and some sunshine on the way, save for the Hudson Bay coast, where we'll be seeing a little bit of some cloud cover lingering. Lots of sunshine, though, for southern Manitoba as we get through the day on Tuesday, but temperatures, again, struggling. A lot of single digits on the board, even as we get into the afternoon, but those winds will be dying down, so at least that won't be too much of a problem for us. There is warmer weather on the way, though, Brittany, and of course, I will have all the details on that coming up in your full 7-day forecast, which is straight ahead.
All right. Thank you, Ethan. To get more industries to embrace renewable energy, batteries need to be stronger, lighter, and safer than lithium-ion. In fact, for many industries, that's a very big bump in the road. Johanna Wagstaff looks at how Canada is trying to be one of the drivers of that innovation.
Everyone's talking about electric cars, but if Canada wants to go fully electric, we got to talk about the giants of the road, the big rigs, the buses, the trucks. The key to going fully electric? Batteries. Batteries that go farther, weigh less, and perform in the cold. Stronger, lighter, safer. Right now, the entire EV world is built on lithium-ion batteries. They've been good enough for cars, but for the big haulers, they just don't have the range, especially in cold Canadian winters. Add more power, they just get heavier, too heavy for real performance. And that's why the battery science itself has become the bottleneck. That's why we're here at one of Canada's biggest EV conferences, where industry leaders are showing off what the next generation of batteries could look like. One of the biggest breakthroughs is solid-state batteries, which swap liquid electrolytes for ceramics.
That's really where you get the weight benefit from. It lightens up because it's much more dense. It's going to be expensive. So unfortunately, the long-haul market that wants it or needs it won't be able to access it because cost is a big factor for that market.
And then there's safety. Current lithium batteries carry fire risks, especially under heavy loads. Canadian engineers are working on new cooling systems like partial immersion designs that stop fire before they spread.
We are hearing a lot about new generation battery cells, but when you have a cell, you need to package it and you need to have the full system around it to be able to use it in a vehicle.
So we have the solutions, but the price tag keeps getting in the way. Here's the reality. Stronger, lighter, safer batteries will first show up in niche markets, high-performance vehicles, racing, even defense, before trickling into freight. Globally, China is leading the charge, but Canadian researchers are carving out a role too. They have to. Road transportation makes up about 23% of Canada's emissions, and most of that comes from commercial vehicles. If Canada wants to be fully electric, it won't be decided in the driveways. It will be decided on the highways, with stronger, lighter, safer, and cheaper batteries.
Still ahead, a reptile expo slithered into town over the weekend. We'll take you there after the break. Plus, Ethan is back with a last check on our forecast.
Well, a chilly Tuesday in store for us, but that does not last long. Temperatures nicely bumping back up as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, and they'll stay that way actually throughout most of the week. We may even hit 20 degrees by the time we hit Saturday. The next kind of drop down in temperatures we're expecting is probably this time next week. We're back down closer to the 10-degree mark and closer to seasonal for this time of year. Keep an eye on those overnight lows. We have the risk of frost over the next couple of nights here, but then things getting back into double digits for overnight conditions. Few breezy days here and there, and we're watching for a pretty quiet weather pattern over the next few days before the possibility of some cloud cover and maybe some showers on next Sunday, but otherwise a very nice few days ahead once we get through this little cold spell here, Brittany.
Thanks, Ethan. Okay, so normally at this point in the show, we'd bring you a story that's uplifting or heartwarming. Well, this is more for the cold-blooded, for those who like things that wiggle and slither and hiss. The Reptile Breeders Expo, which featured some exotic critters. Take a look.
We fly out from Alberta, so we specialize in captive breeding reptiles. We mostly breed geckos and snakes, frogs, newts, things like that. So we come out just for the show. We fly out for the weekend and sell directly to the public.
What keeps you going?
I'm still excited about breeding animals. So excited the new faces every spring, all the little babies we produce, and then matching those babies with the right families.
Passion. I've honestly loved these animals my whole life, and just being able to work with them just keeps me excited, and I love the work I do with them. There's a lot of misunderstandings surrounding them. They can be difficult animals to understand. They don't behave like say a dog or a cat. So it takes more understanding. But once you actually understand what they want and what they're doing, they're just as wonderful of a pet. The way that you see people come with fear and leave without it, it's I love it.
What do you like about this kind of sale here today?
It's different, you know. It's just something neat to experience. Most people have cat and dogs, and that's all they love. So coming here and seeing different creatures it's awesome. It's new. It's exciting.
They're not something to fear. Specialty pets are pets like any other pets, and they can bring some great enjoyment to your life.
Not for me. I'm glad they are far away. I'll take the dog walk any day. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.